Hey everybody, it's Anna. Welcome back to my art channel. I am so happy to have you join me for today's painting. So I'm guessing that most of you have seen my other seahorse painting video. Well, today I'm taking that technique one step further, and I am doing a seahorse reveal pour. I first saw the reveal pour technique demonstrated by Rinske Dauna, and it set my mind on fire with ideas. And then I saw a video by Sarah Mack, where she did a reveal pour, and for her transparent base, she used just plain American Floetrol. And that was the point that I knew that I had to try it for myself. So thank you, ladies, for your inspiration. Today, I'm going to be making a yellow seahorse on a dreamy, tropical turquoise background with sea grasses, and I'm so excited. Let's go make a painting. Hey everybody, so I have a 12 by 24 inch deep canvas here, and then my colors are all mixed with Floetrol and then with water. So this is Caribbean from Apple Barrel, so you can see it's mixed medium to medium thin. It flows well, makes a bit of a mound, but it's not super duper thick. It could be thinner, but I'm going to go with this right now. And then I have Ocean Green from Masters Touch Acrylics. And then I have Brilliant, whoops, I have a mess on my hands. I have Brilliant Yellow Green from Blick Studio Acrylics. Love this. This is like a key lime pie color. And then I have this, which is sort of a mix of greens. It's mostly middle green from Creative Inspirations. There may be some green oxide or something else in there. It was a leftover cup that I then added some middle green to. So it's all mixed, about 1 part paint to 2 parts Floetrol. This one is 1 part paint to 3 parts Floetrol, just because it was a thicker paint to begin with. Okay, so I'm going to move my greens out of the way. So these are basically a bluish and a greenish side of turquoise. They're both turquoise, but one slightly bluer and one slightly greener, and I'm using them both because I do want a bit of color differentiation in the water. I don't want it to just be a solid color. And I also have this jug of white that I've also pre-mixed in the same way that I'll be adding a little bit of as well, just to make sure that we have some brightness in the background. So I'm going to just layer out my background blues. And these might not go as far as I thought, though I'll have plenty of space to spread them out. Let me just add a little drizzle of white. Just to add some brightness there in the water. Okay, then I'm going to use a palette knife to just kind of spread. I want the blue and the green and the white to mostly blend. I want it to make just kind of this luscious, blended, slightly layered, interesting water background. Not too monochromatic, but not lots of big, bold color patterns in it. So this is looking perfect. Okay, so I love this already. I mean, you could almost just stop here and hang it up on your wall because it's such a nice, peaceful gradient of blues and turquoise and green and white. But I'm gonna do the grasses, of course. So let me torch it first, pop some of these air bubbles that are in here, and then I'll start doing the grasses. And I still have enough of this paint left over for touch-ups. So for my grasses, I want them to be flowing organically up most of the way. I don't know that they should go all the way up to the top, but they should go at least most of the way up and be kind of layered. So some start here and go up, and then others start here and go up, and then others start at the very bottom. So what I'm going to do is over here I'm going to make a little puddle of my two greens. Because I don't want the seagrasses to be single color either, monochromatic. So I'm going to try just my little palette knife, and I'm going to step back here so that I can swipe from left to right. But I'm just going to dip this into this mixed green, and I'm going to try. I'm going to start here and swipe up. Okay, so that's a beautiful piece of grass. The problem with having horizontal lines in the water and then we swipe the grasses up is that it messes up the flow of the water. But I think when you throw in enough pieces of grass and then a seahorse on top, I don't think you're going to notice much. Tons of cell reaction in here, which is exactly what I wanted. So I love that, and I'm gonna try one more with this little palette knife, and then I may try a bigger one. Yeah, now I'm gonna do it's just a little bigger, but it's flat tipped. So I think it'll hold more paint and let me get a little bit further up. So again, I'm just going to dip it into that green. Going to add a little bit more of the darker green here because I'm getting a predominantly light colored seagrass. And I do want some darker green too. But I like that size. I'm going to do another one of those. Now I'm going to start moving further down and starting to layer them up. Now I do want to be really careful because if I layer one on top of the other, it may completely mess them up. So I want to try not to do too much stacking and overlapping of grasses, but I want it to look like I have overlap of grasses. Do one right here. I'm just curious before I go on, let me see if I can torch and bring up some more cell reaction in these grasses. Okay, not too much more, but that's fine. Okay, let's add another one here. Lovely. So here I had a little bit of what I was talking about where one swipes over the other and it causes a bit of a problem. But I think I can feather this one in so that it looks like it's just one piece of grass that's splitting. Yeah, that's better. Great. So now what I need to do is make sure that the ends here of the grass come down the edge. So I'm just going to use little bits of paper towel to swipe those down. And it's possible I may add a piece of grass on each side. Haven't decided that yet. Okay, I would like to be able to put grasses on the sides of the canvas, but I wonder how the design would shift, and right now the sides are looking really just kind of dreamy water anyway, and I don't think it would look strange to not have grasses on the side. So, we'll leave it the way it is. Let me give it one final torch, and then I'll bring you in for a close-up. Okay, so here we are up at the top. Look how dreamy that water is, and then here come the grasses. And then you can see I just continued them down a bit. Here's how the sides look. So that's just a beautiful, peaceful water side. And I think it's fine without the grasses in it. But yeah, look, we got some really cool cell reaction on some of them. Not on all of them, but on some of them. So that's really cool. Makes it look very much like actual seaweed. And I wish it didn't bring that blue up into the lighter color, but I don't mind it that much. Plus, there's going to be a seahorse on top of this, so hopefully you won't notice too much of that. Just look at that. I mean, doesn't that look like actual plant cells? It's really, really cool. And then the colors are just super dreamy, of course, too. So, I will show this to you when it is dry, when I'm adding the seahorse. So we'll go to that step next. Okay, I'm back. This background turned out amazing. I absolutely love it, and I'm so excited to put the seahorse on it. So we're doing a yellow seahorse. As you can tell, here are my colors. All of these are mixed with Floetrol and water, just as normal. So this is Lemon Yellow by Creative Inspirations. They're all mixed medium to medium thin. This is Deep Yellow by Creative Inspirations. So this will be kind of the accent orangish yellow. Then I have some metallic antique copper by Folk Art. Just a little bit of that and a little bit of this metallic gold. This is a mix of golds. I think it's some Folk Art antique gold and some Creative Inspirations pure gold. And then I have some white, which is Sargent and Apple Barrel. So all of the colors except the lemon yellow have a drop of silicone oil in them, about a drop per ounce of paint, maybe less. You don't need all that much silicone oil in Floetrol mixed paint. And then, as my base, I've got a big cup of Floetrol, just plain US Floetrol. So that's going to be the base, the background paint for this reveal pour. So it's going to look very milky as I'm doing the painting, but then as it dries, the Floetrol will dry and go clear, and you should be able to see this beautiful seagrass background behind and through this bubbly seahorse. So I'm very excited about that. The lemon yellow I also have in a squeeze bottle because it is my leading edge color, and I want to be able to put it on in a controlled manner. First thing I need to do, though, is talk about this profile template. The way I make these, I've had people ask, it's very simple. I don't use a Cricut or anything like that. It's just blue tape. You can use frog tape, whatever tape. Blue tape has worked fine for me. What I do is I take a big piece of kitchen parchment paper, which is very, like tape doesn't stick to it very well. And I sketch out the general dimensions of the painting, and then I sketch the shape that I want. And then I put tape down over that sketch. Then I flip over the piece of parchment paper, because you can see through it, and then I cut along my sketched edge. This way you can create your own shape, whatever shape you want it to be, and you can just stick it right onto your surface. But the fluid paint will leak under it somewhat, so a tip that I would give is warm up the tape with a blow dryer and then just really press it down in so that it sticks really well to that surface, and then it will not leak as much. So here we go. You can see this piece of tape sticking out the bottom. That's where there's a piece of grass coming up here through the middle. And I want the tail of the seahorse to be wrapped around it. So I've taped over it so that it'll look like it is behind the grass, and then it'll curve around and come in front of that piece of seagrass. So this is stopping me from painting over that piece of seagrass. Okay, I'm going to start by putting down my colors, and then I will put the Floetrol on this side, and I'll start to swipe. Okay, I think I am really happy with that band of color. So I'll move all those out of the way. And now it's time for me to add the Floetrol here on the side so that I can swipe into it. So I don't really want a huge layer here. I want to make sure that it's adequately covering the surface. I'm not going to go down over the sides actually, because you know, it doesn't add a color, so there's not much point in going over the sides. So I do want to go all the way up to the edge, but then I'm going to just wipe it off because I don't want lots of extra drip texture down the sides. So what I'm going to do really quick now is just wipe these sides so I don't get a big drip texture. It's okay if you know, if some Floetrol gets on the sides because it dries clear, but I don't want those drips going down. Okay, who's ready to swipe? Okay, so I've got these little plastic swipe tools that I use. These are pieces of laminator sheet, just plain laminator sheet that I've cut into these nice rounded edge swipe tools of different sizes. So I'm going to start with my smallest one right up here and go kind of straight back. Beautiful. Make sure you have some paper towel handy so you can wipe it right off. These colors are amazing. The combination seems perfect so far. I'm going to do the nose next, pull it up and out, and then I need a slightly bigger one here. Then for this little cheek section, I'm just going to use my little palette knife. No, I'm going to use a little piece of paper towel. Best tip ever. Just use little bits of paper towel if you want to make small adjustments when you've got silicone in your mix. It's very interesting because I can see a lot of the Floetrol in here, and I can't tell if that's going to dry totally transparent or if there's any paint underneath there. I think it's going to be transparent. And I can't tell if I want more color there or not. It's really pretty here where it's all turned to lace. We'll see. Okay, this is looking really good. I am a little bit concerned that the face does not have enough color in it. So I'm going to add just a little bit more of everything up here. Because I want to make sure that the face has plenty of color and isn't like this big hollow thing. Obviously we want that transparency because that's what's really cool about this technique, but we want to make sure that we can see stuff. There's enough solidity to the head that it doesn't look really weird. Okay, I think that's exactly what I wanted to happen because it's much more solid here in the front, but there's still plenty of the bubbles and stuff back here. I want to swipe the nose just a little bit more. Wonderful, that looks great. Okay, I think it's time to pull up the tape, see how it looks, add the base coat of Floetrol on the other side, and finish her up. Oh my gosh, this looks so good! And I can't even see through the Seahorse yet, but it looks amazing, and look how nicely that's just effortlessly going behind this piece of seagrass. Ah, so good! So good. I just gotta clean up a couple edges where the paint leaked under. Just using a damp paintbrush to clean that up. Usually it doesn't make a difference because, you know, the white paint that you add for the background just covers up any blemishes. But since I'm using a transparent background, I'm trying to be more careful. Okay, there are a couple areas that need to be addressed. First of all, we need to add a little bit more height and spikiness on the head. We need to make some of these back wisps a little bit wispier. And I need to add the curl of the tail. I think I'm going to start up here with the head. So, again, just bits of paper towel. I think what I need to do is make myself a little puddle of the different colors that I want represented so that I can dip into this, because that one's pretty much just yellow. So I want to grab some yellow and and then grab some of this color and then swipe it through. Much better. Okay, let's do that again. Love that. Okay, so the nose shape has gotten shifted because some of the Floetrol flowed over it. So I'm going to grab a straw and see if I can blow kind of the paint colors back to their original shape. Okay, I think that's pretty close. Love those head wisps. Amazing. Let me add some wisps here to the back of the body. Just breaking up some of these lines and extending them to make it extra whimsical. Okay, it's time to add the tail. So here, obviously, where the hole is in the tail, this is where I can actually see the grass kind of coming up. So I want to curve around that. I am absolutely loving this. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to add. And the Floetrol on this side is still kind of squeezing onto the painted design, but I believe, like, I can still see the paint under the Floetrol. So I have a feeling that as it dries, the paint layer will still be there. Okay, the one thing, when I re-swipe this face, there's a lot more color, but there's less lacing. So I want to add a bit of the copper and the orange. There we go. There's a couple stripes of the copper through there. I think that'll help add some definition. I am loving this. I need to wipe my edges again. And then I think it's time for a close-up. Okay, here we go. So let's start with that nice wispy tail. So you can see where it's going to overlap that piece of grass, and I think that's going to look amazing. But look at these cells that we've got. All the way back to the nice, delicate, wispy edges in the back. So here's the nose. You can see where the Floetrol kind of came up over it. I think it's still going to look fine. There's those beautiful wisps on the top of the head. And then all the way back here, nice, delicate, wispy edges. I will show you how this looks when the Floetrol is dry and we can see the background. Dun da da dun! Here it is, with the background fully showing underneath. It looks so good. I love the yellow against the blue and the green. So I'm super happy. Now I need to do some brush touch-ups, so let me show you the areas. So you see this sort of brown? That was actually my deep yellow, which when I placed it directly against that blue background, it turned kind of brown, or the blue is showing through it. So you can see how beautiful the orange color is right there that was after it crossed on top of the white. So I need to brush some more of those two yellow colors here to cover up these kind of weird lines. Another thing I need to do is some of these wisps up here. It's hard to see them against the background, so I'm just going to add some of the lighter yellow to brighten those up. I don't know if I'll do that with any of these wisps here in the back. You see how they're so hard to see all the way over here. I don't know if I'll brighten those or not. And then right here I just need to add a little bit of detail so it looks completely unified. So let's go to those brush touch-ups now. Actually, in the interest of time, instead of showing the whole brush touch-up process, I'll just briefly describe each step that I did. First, I layered some more of that deep yellow over that brownish line on the body. Then I used my background turquoise colors to cover over a piece of seagrass that was poking up awkwardly from behind the seahorse's head. Then I added lemon yellow along the front, which was brightening up the color and flowing out across the body. I added brightening details to the tail also in yellow and white and the other metallics. And finally I added the eye, which involved starting with a dark base, which was the metallic copper, and then I added the white of the eye and the black pupil. And that's what I did. Let's go see the final close-up of the finished piece. So here it is, all done. So this eye kind of gave me a run for my money because at first I put too many of those little branching metallic copper bits and it just looked weird. So I ended up lightening it a bit and adding some more yellow into the face to fill it out and make it look smoother. But you can see I added some detail up there just to make it stand out a bit more. This front edge of the seahorse body is very smooth. And all the way down here to the tail, where I also added some details and just made it look a little bit nicer. So one of the things that I love about how I did this front edge is, so I covered up that kind of brown stripe, and then I made the yellow look like it's flowing over and around the other colors. So it definitely looks organic, like my other micro swipes do. This one was tricky just because the front edge color was light, and so it didn't hide the other colors like a regular one would do if you've got a dark leading edge. But I totally love this. I love how it's grabbing that piece of grass. I love how soft and dreamy that expression in the eye is. So I just love this piece so much. So because I used silicone in this, I will need to clean it. So you can click this link that's popping up if you're curious how to clean a painting that's got silicone oil in it. And then I will be varnishing it with Liquitex Basics Gloss Varnish. And you can click this link that's popping up if you want to know how I varnish my pieces. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this inspired you to try something new. Definitely let me know down in the comments if you have ever done a reveal pour, or if you have ideas of what I should do next. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you for my next video. Bye!